My first comment is that according to all the things you do, you'd still need many other softwares for shelves, for linking what you do with suppliers. I've seen link between consumers as manufacturers, so many things to invent still. However, we have also big topic to address, and as you know, transparency, which is one of them, is something we are interested in. So the question is to try to understand, and I have just 2 slides to try to highlight this topic. Number one is, what are we talking about? Because there are so many things that everybody are saying in this, on that matter. The first thing is, we are talking about trust, of course. The theme of the global summit of the Consumer Goods Forum in New York in June 2015 was absolutely wonderful because it was launching almost everything. Trust as a foundation for growth. For those who were there, it was a great moment and a great starter. From that, we do believe that, in fact, it is highlighting, it is demonstrating that a new value is becoming something absolutely critical in the way people work together, in the way companies work together. So it's a B2C, C2C, or B2B business attitude. Transparency is becoming a value. And more importantly, this world, which is so connected everywhere in the world now, everybody knows everything. And consumers know that a product can come from so many countries, ingredient can come from so many countries, and to make a product today for a big brand or retailer is difficult because it's very complex. But the complexity today is also to bring transparency in what we do. However, I think we shouldn't try to do a solution for a small group of paranoids, because there are some people who are you're reading everything, of course, on the labels. Then they come back at home and they go on the site of the manufacturer or the retailer. They look at the information, everything they can get, and then they go into the different countries where the tomatoes are supposed to be outsourced, and then they go into information on this country, especially. So I think there are a few number of people that the media like very much, which are people who will always be like that, and we shouldn't, I think, build a solution for a very small group of consumers who, in fact, do not represent the 99.5% group of consumers who just want the big brands and the big retailers to deliver to them just something which they can trust. And globally speaking, it's an interesting evolution. I would say that in the 60s, it was good to put on the shelves a good product at a good price. Then progressively, everybody, manufacturers and retailers, have developed through the CIS and the Consumer Goods Forum very better, where they have improved the practices. Mainly they have implemented, and you have implemented into the market something which is very critical, which are the quality standard. And progressively, a manufacturer is supposed to sell a good product at a good price and at a good quality linked to the standard that the professional have developed. And probably starting from now, it's not enough. A product has to bring in something which is transparency. Where are the products coming from? Are all the factories compliant? Do we know everything about the supply chain visibility, and so on and so on? So things have changed, and transparency became a value. I don't have the thing to change the... Thank you. So what are we going to do? I'm not going to do a demo of what we have, of course not. I just want to highlight 2 key ideas. Number one, what is the supply chain? And whatever the brand is, the supply chain is like an iceberg. Look at the brands. The brands are the part which is above the surface of the sea, and the supply chain is something huge below the surface, with of course, huge complexity. More importantly, we all know that the supply chain, there is an overlap. If at the top of this iceberg, let's imagine it's Nestlé, Coca-Cola, Procter & Gamble, Lever, Carrefour, Walmart, Deleuze, Musgrave, whatever, Hold. In fact, these companies, very powerful companies, they're not strong enough today. They are not strong enough anymore to move the whole supply chain from farm to fork alone. It will never work that somebody can decide, because the power of this supply chain is so big, the weight is so huge that even with the strongness, with the power of these big companies, it's necessary to invent new solutions and have different business models. This is why we have built a completely new approach of this transparency world, this transparency topic, which is a platform that everybody can share. And here you have a kind of analysis of the architecture of our system, where you might have in the middle of the yellow point is a big brand, whatever the brand is, from a retailer or a big manufacturer. And the network can be built if everybody has access and can use for his own necessity the platform itself. And this is what we have built. More importantly, if you look at the A zone in this picture, they are using a platform for their own needs, but they don't connect to the big brand. And in our solution, it's possible. Or they can be totally alone and use the transparency platform just to put data in it if they want and if they consider that it's possible to start like that. This is the C zone. And the B is an integrated supply chain for visibility. So what is important for me, because the supply chain is an iceberg, it's absolutely necessary that, globally speaking, everybody should have the opportunity to access to a platform. And talking about the suppliers, we do believe it has to be for free. And then, therefore, progressively, the supply chain visibility will become a transparency network for the benefit of everybody. However, if you do that without a huge organization which will be able to talk to all the suppliers everywhere in the world or everywhere in the part of the iceberg, it's impossible to do it. So onboarding and services are critical to succeed in this project. This is why we are absolutely delighted and honored to have been able to do a partnership with SGS. SGS can bring everything about services and onboarding worldwide, so their power, in addition with our technology, is potentially now today the very strong solution to drive consumer trust. Please, Laurent from SGS is going to explain how we are going to do that. Thank you, Laurent. The floor is yours.